Welcome back to my channel. In this video, I'm going to show you some changes and improvements I made to the previous item distributor. Alright, let's get started. First, we'll take a quick look at the last version and go over some of the problems and limitations it had. As we remember, in the last version, we had to put filler items inside some of these hoppers. Let's place them evenly here in this hopper and this one as well. And the last hopper has to be left empty. Now I've prepared a few stacks of diamonds for testing. Let's put in the first stack and see what happens. As you can see, the first stack only fills the first hopper, while the second hopper stays empty.
Next, let's put in the second stack. This second stack will only fill the second hopper, and the third hopper is still empty. So now let's insert the third stack, and this one will fill the third hopper. And of course, the fourth hopper is still empty. If we check again, the previous hoppers are now each filled with one full stack. Now let's try inserting the fourth stack.
So the first stack that actually gets distributed is the fourth stack. And if we check each hopper, there will always be one full stack stuck inside each of them. Now, if we insert a different item, for example emeralds, the distribution will get messy and won't be even anymore. Before, a lot of people asked whether this item distributor can evenly distribute non-stackable items. So let's test it using this shulker box that contains several spears inside. And as you can see, it actually works. Now let's summarize the weaknesses of the first design. First, one full stack of items will get stuck in each hopper. This really affects item efficiency because personally, I don't want my items sitting inside hoppers where they can't be used immediately, especially when it's as much as a full stack. Second, the system gets messy if you insert different items. We never really know what item might accidentally end up in the hopper line, and when that happens, fixing it can be pretty annoying. So those were the main problems with the previous version. Now let's move on to the improvements in the new design. This is the new design. Compared to the previous one, it uses fewer hoppers. And as you can see, all of them are completely empty. There are no filler items in here. Let's test it right away by inserting one stack of diamonds. As you can see, the items are distributed evenly. And if we check the hoppers below, there's only one item stuck in each hopper. Now let's try inserting another stack of diamonds, and this time we'll also add some emeralds. As expected, the diamonds and emeralds are distributed evenly. If we check the backside, the diamond that was stuck before has now been replaced by the newest item, which is the emerald. Now let's also check if it works with non-stackable items. Just like before, this shulker box contains several spears. And as you can see, it still distributes them evenly, and the emerald stuck in the hopper gets replaced again by the newest item, which is the spear. So this design fixes the problems from the first version. It's honestly a huge improvement. Now let's move on to the building tutorial. This build is very simple. First, place a few building blocks here and put barrels on top of them. Then behind them, place another row of building blocks and add a redstone torch on each one. Next, place hoppers pointing into the barrels. From the top here, place a temporary block, then place another hopper facing that direction. Make sure this row of hoppers is pointing that way and this one is pointing into the barrel. Next, we just finish this part and place one barrel here as the item input. For the redstone, it's basically the same as the previous design. Place a comparator here, then add the redstone dust, and don't forget the repeater as well. And that's it. Pretty simple, right? Now let's test it using 3 different stacks of items. Let's wait a moment for the system to finish distributing them. And now let's check the results. As you can see, everything is distributed perfectly evenly. Now let's talk about scaling up and expanding this new design. In front of me here, I have a distributor with 7 barrels. Let's test it out. When you insert one stack of items, they do get distributed across all the barrels. But since 64 can't be evenly divided by 7, there will be a leftover item that gets stuck. Right here in this section, you can see 1 diamond stuck. Now, when you insert another stack, there will be a small difference in the distribution between the barrels. However, the number of items stuck in the system stays consistent. In front of me here is the 8-barrel version of the distributor. Before we continue, I want to mention something important. With this current design, the system works reliably only up to 7 barrels. Once you go beyond 7, starting from 8 barrels and above, a strange issue begins to appear. I'll show you exactly what happens in a moment. And don't worry, I already found a solution for this, and I've included it near the end of this video. If you're only interested in the fix and don't really care about the technical explanation, feel free to skip ahead to that part. Alright, now let's test the 8-barrel version. After running the tests and checking the results, at first everything looks fine. The items do get distributed evenly across the system. But when you look closely, something strange happens. When the items reach this particular barrel, for some reason, it doesn't get filled at all. What's interesting is that this behavior continues for the next barrels as well. The same issue shows up on barrel number 9, barrel number 10, and even further if you keep extending the system. Because of that, I would say the safe and stable limit for this design is 7 barrels. Once you go past that number, the system starts behaving in ways that are a bit unpredictable. Now here in front of me is the 9-barrel version. Let's test this one as well. When we run the test, technically the total number of items is still distributed correctly, but the strange thing is that the pattern changes again. This time, the barrel that should have been empty actually gets filled, and the empty spot shifts 1 position to the right. So the behavior isn't even consistent. Sometimes the empty slot appears in one place, sometimes it moves somewhere else. Because of that random shifting behavior, it becomes really hard to rely on the system when scaling it up. And because of that inconsistency, I eventually decided that the best solution was to redesign the system specifically for 8 barrels and above so it can stay stable even when the distributor gets larger. And here is the solution to that problem. This is the 8-barrel version of the improved design. The main change is actually very simple. You just need to leave 1 block of space between each barrel. Then on the backside, every gap needs 1 repeater. That small adjustment is what stabilizes the system when you go beyond 7 barrels. Alright, let's test it. I'll start by inserting emeralds. And as you can see, everything is distributed perfectly evenly. And of course, just like before, there's only 1 emerald stuck in the system right here, which is exactly what we expect. Now let's try another test. This time, we'll insert diamonds and lapis at the same time. And if we check the results, you can see that everything is still distributed perfectly across all the barrels. Next to it here is the 16-barrel version. The layout, shape, and system are basically the same as the 8-barrel version we just built. The only difference is that it's extended to handle more barrels. Alright, let's test it. I'm going to insert iron, gold, and netherite. Oh wait, that wasn't supposed to happen. Looks like I made a mistake while inserting the items. Well, let's just check the result anyway. And interestingly, even though the order of the items entering the system changed, everything is still distributed perfectly. The order might be different, but the total amount in each barrel stays the same. And if we take a look inside the system, you can see that the only thing stuck in the hoppers is just 1 gold item across the whole line. Alright, that's pretty much it for this video.
This design was created by me, Sticeford. I personally haven't seen anyone publish a simple design like this before. From what I've seen, most people tend to make these systems way too overcomplicated with a lot of unnecessary components, even though something this simple is already more than enough. But if you do happen to find someone who came up with this design earlier, please let me know. I'll gladly give them proper credit. Because as far as I know, I haven't seen this exact design published anywhere yet. And honestly, this might be the last video in the Compact Even Item Distributor series. The design already feels very compact and very optimized, so I'm not really sure what else could be improved at this point. It kind of feels like this is as good as it gets. So yeah, that's all for me, Sticeford. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, leave a like, and don't forget to subscribe to support the channel and keep me motivated to make more content. See you in the next one.